Mate, thank you so much for joining us on your late mate. Coming back from old school hip hop, influenced by Dr. Dre, Nate Dogg, Warren G. It's good to fast forward to your present age. Skhanda no KO, a musician, and we say musician because really to put that music together, to put the lyrics together, it encompasses a musician. And then his genre yake by hip hop. He has defined his sound hip hop like higher and has given it street credibility according to us. Some of us argue that the album yake is as classical as the infamous Halloween. KO, thank you so much for joining us, man. And we really appreciate it. Sharp out, yeah. I was arguing with my friends. We were arguing about your album, saying it has, for us, classic like Halloween. How do you respond to that?
Oh, that is such a huge compliment.
Yeah.
And it's a tall order because we grew up on the music, and it even till this day, I mean, still resonates with us. I mean, even like from generation to generation. So for me, to be sort of kind of pitted against that product, is a total honor. And if that's what it means, I guess maybe like in the next coming years will determine you know, the strength of the album and just the longevity of it. But
for sure, like your first chronic.
Yeah. So but I mean, regardless of above everything else, I think I put out a solid body of work. I mean, I can just tell by the response on the streets and how the product is moving. I think we did something great with that album. Because
truly it resonated well with the hood, you know what I'm saying? Sipuma in an era where people duplicated hip-hop, you know, and you gave it the energy as a guy and still be part of the hip-hop genre as well. So a good compliment to you. Currently the #1 favorite hip-hop artist. I don't know whether you're aware of that, obviously. Yeah, well, the news came out, and then I was voted as the hottest this year, and it doesn't mean that I'm more talented than anyone on the list. Why can't it mean that? No, I think it's just based on impact, like in terms of like just maybe success this year, you know. So it's just purely based on that. It doesn't mean that, okay, cool, this guy raps better than that guy. No. So that's what it is. All right, humility from your part. But I'm sure you view yourself in isolation as an artist. You don't view yourself as, okay, I'm directly competing with someone. Yeah, well, my thing is, I'm the kind of player who just wants to be on the pitch. Yeah. You know? Yeah. If I happen to play better than player X, Y, it doesn't mean anything to me. All I'm doing is I get on the pitch, you know, make sure that I'm on my A game. I'm not looking at the scoreboard. I just want to perform at my best ability. If I just so happen to be the player of the match or the MVP or anything like that, that is to me just blessings and bonuses. It's not what I play for. For sure. About Jay-Z, long ago, have paid tribute to cars. Product placement has always been part of hip-hop, whether you're talking about Versace, and cars were like the Lexus, and then it came to Abo Chevy Impala, if you look at West Side rap, and then it came to more your Phantoms and more of your Bentleys. You go and unleash a classical car that is so close to partying even. What made you go back and honor a Caracara? Yeah, I mean, growing up at Gas, the VW minibus was, you know, favorite means of transport. It was, I mean, for kids going to school, parties, or anything of that nature. So, I mean, it had a significant role within just the, you know, black township lifestyle. So, more than anything, for me, it was just bringing back that nostalgia and, you know, just centering. Because I wasn't necessarily talking about the car itself. I'm talking about a good time. But the car seems to be the centerpiece. You know, because I mean, wherever that we're going, you know, whatever our destination is, this is the means of transport that we're using. So I just brought that because it's just part of our culture as South Africans, and I'm just happy that
even outside of the country, people are now like, okay, cool. So we didn't actually even know much about that car, but like, it's just so amazing how, you know, one little thing that we don't, that is so peculiar to a particular country can just, you know, bring people together, you know, and impact the culture on such a huge level. So for me, being able to pull that off and making people just, you know, embrace. I saw people buying Caracara.
Yeah, and restoring them.
This, that, and the third. Yes. So I mean, I think, it just goes to show with maybe music, the power of music and the word, and just being yourself and being authentic and talking to the people and connecting with them, when creating that common ground, you know, can get you so, you know, very far in the industry.
Let me take it to your personal experience. You went on, I think it was Instagram, and you had to show your results. And when people were speculating about your health, we took a stand on this show to personally say, you know, one shouldn't be even made to do that. One shouldn't even be made to explain themselves to people. Why did you feel the need to say, you know what, can we stop the chit chat? This is where the situation is.
Yeah. Well, there was a picture that we took, you know, and the angle was a little funny, and that's what triggered the whole talk. So with all the speculation that was going on, and I had actually lost a lot of weight because I mean I was on a strict diet and heavy at gym. So to a certain degree, maybe I did overdo it, but it was my personal choice.
Yes.
So I mean, unfortunately, being in the country that we are, with the stigma around HIV and AIDS, you know, the first thing that they'll throw at you is that you're not well. Which is understandable, but not acceptable.
Of course not.
So I didn't pay too much attention to it when it first started, you know, the first week, until they started saying some stuff, my parents and my girlfriend, social media and all these kind of things. So that kind of, you know, didn't sit with me very well, because now, I mean, I'm in the industry, I'm in the public eye, I've grown to have a thick skin, you know, dealing with some of the media issues and publicity and all those kind of things. But those people are, it's unfamiliar territory for them. So it hit them harder than it hit me. So just to settle the matter, that's what I decided to do. Went out and did a public test and put my results out there, and I think that was the biggest, that fueled everything, you know, the talk around the subject matter after I did that, because I'd never done so much. I mean, I come from Teargas, a very successful brand, but I've never had a crazy media run than that just particular week. You know? And another thing that people actually didn't realize, those who were peddling the whole rumor, what they didn't realize was the song Caracara, I think it had been out for like a month. After that story, the song shot up. So it came as a blessing. You know what I mean? Because now people now had like some compassion towards me, like, you know, being victimized and being cyberbullied and all those kind of things. But just to say, I just want to, you know, clarify one thing. Me doing that was not based on maybe the stigma itself or anything. I mean, I just wanted the truth to come out. But one thing that we need to be cognizant of is the fact that, imagine someone who's actually HIV positive, who was gearing up to maybe just, you know, disclose their status, maybe amongst friends or family or anything like that. Imagine how now they are even pushed far back into the corner or into the darkness, and they're not willing to come out and share, you know, their health with people. And because sometimes, not even their health, because the fact that you are HIV positive does not mean that you are dying. You know, there's there's treatment, there's all kinds of things, you know, that make sure that you sustain and live a good, healthy life, you know. But now, just because people will have this mental complex where they just feel like, okay, cool, we can say as soon as we judge you, or as soon as people judge me, that means I'm probably gonna die sooner than I thought. You know, so I mean, it's just one of those things that we need to try and shake off as a community, because beyond anything and everything else, we are all the same.
No, for sure, man. No, well done on you for addressing that the way that you did. In fact, there's been all sorts of talk, you know. Kwaito as a genre came out when it came out, you know, whether you're going to Trompis, whether you're going to Mantosa, whoever you go to. It came out and established a certain revolution in music when it comes to urban culture of music. And hip-hop was there. Tina, the first notion of what rap was locally was abosinyaka. You know, Saturday, Sunday. You know what I mean? So he held it down in that aspect. Where do you think hip hop is when at this stage, South African hip hop?
I think one thing that I've actually brought forth with these interviews, especially ever since like you know, Caracara came out, was given the success of that particular song, and obviously songs like Congratulate by AKA and Dok Shebeleza by Casper. I said one thing that I just realized just early this year. One thing that we didn't do was take the baton from the Kwaito guys and turn hip hop into what it's uniquely sounding now. You know, we went in, if I remember correctly, it was sort of kind of like a war between Kwaito and hip hop when we started. You know, so I mean, we ended up, you know, emulating more of the American formula, which is why now we didn't have the same impact as Kwaito in this country, because I mean,
it kept it to its communities.
Exactly, you know, and we didn't really we didn't connect with the community here, because what we were trying to do was foreign. So now, finally, when we decide to take the stance and be like, okay, cool, how about we just bring in those Kwaito elements and actually take this product, the sound to the people. Look what happens. You know what I mean? This year, hip-hop it was probably the leading urban genre.
Of course.
You know, with Dok Shebeleza and all these other songs, you know, that, you know, made so much noise on radio and everything and everywhere else. So I think it's really important. It's an important lesson for us and generations to come, that we need to harness our heritage.
No, for sure.
You know, our culture, because that's what defines us in the world, and that's what separates us from everything else that is going out there in the world.
Who do you owe your success to as an artist, your inspiration? I mean, a lot of cats overseas, they'll go back as far as Dre, like I said, Run DMC, Pheromone, they'll go back to EPMD, you know, for their existence. Where now, who would you say, you know, you owe that respect to?
It's a bunch of people. I also liked a lot of Snoop Doggy Dogg growing up. Dog Pound.
For sure.
Wu-Tang. And just the business mind. I think obviously, I mean, there has to be take a couple of pages from Jay-Z's book.
Especially the first blueprint.
You understand? Actually, when I was writing this album, that's one of the albums I was listening to the most.
Is it?
Yeah, the blueprint too. I was listening to a whole lot of Jay-Z and TKZ as a matter of fact. So, yeah, I mean, locally, definitely Kabelo, you know, Pugalaf, it's one of my mentors, one of the people that I look up to. And then, of course, we went out and created a label called Cashtime Life. Which is
Cashtime Life.
Which is myself, Kid X, my E from Teargas, Marks, DJ Vigilante, and Nomuzi Mabena, and my business partner there is Tabi Sokati, known as Hip Hop Scholar. And the reason why I mentioned the label as well is because there's a guy called DJ Oskido, who is the head of Kalawa. So I'm also inspired by that.
Of course.
You know, so we deem ourselves as the Kalawa of hip hop.
Okay,
that's what it is.
No, of course, man. But what is it that you want your fans to take out of the entire album? What is it that you really would like them to say? This is how I opened up my soul, my creativity, you know, my being. What is it that you want for them to take out?
I've always been about just pushing the envelope and doing new things and starting new trends and all kinds of things. I mean, when Caracara came out, the dress code just started spreading, like, you know, the image in the video and how we dress just spread like wildfire, you know, around the streets of SA and everything, and our language as well, the lingo, you know, that we use, because we define ourselves as dust.
Oh, okay, dust.
Yeah, because we come from the dusty streets of the township. So our music, to a certain degree, is defined as dust. Because I mean, it's ghetto, it's raw, and hardcore, you know. So one thing I want people to know, and one thing I want to leave my fans with, is self-pride, and just be patriotic, and just be proud of who you are and your heritage, because there can only be one KO, there can only be one Nimrod. You know, there can only be one Kanye West. You can't beat Kanye West and being Kanye West.
No, you are.
You can't beat Nimrod and being Nimrod. You understand? So be yourself. If you tepo, if you uzakele, just focus at being the best. Uzakele.
No, for sure. And where do your fans reach you on a social network?
On Instagram and Twitter. My accounts are MR Cashtime, Mr. Cashtime, and on Facebook it's KO Teargas.
My man.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you so much for making time.
Awesome. God bless, brother.
You too, my friend. We'd like to thank KO for coming to the show. Embraces music. He's an innovator in his genre, and we wish him the longest of life and success in this industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. KO stopped by.